Welcome to the Paddle and Portage Podcast. On the podcast, we often feature paddler profiles. There's a number of individuals in our paddling community that when their names are spoken, people generally have an idea of who we're talking about. Bear Paulson, Jason Zaborski. Who am I missing?
Becky Rahm, Peta Barrett, who we recently talked about on the podcast. People who are visible public figures, essentially, of the Boundary Waters.
The most powerful element of this place is that there are endless stories of folks who are doing amazing work, not just getting themselves in, but getting other people into the woods. It's sort of like the everyday paddler profile.
And in this episode, we're going to learn about one such individual, Shannon McGrath.
Almost 50 years ago, a group of friends met at a diner and began to organize a movement. They formed a group dedicated to preserving the pristine waters and forests of northeastern Minnesota. Through grassroots organizing, they helped pass the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness Act, which protected the Boundary Waters for future generations. Today, that organization, Friends of the Boundary Waters, continues its work to protect, preserve, and restore this cherished wilderness. Whether it's through fighting toxic mining proposals at the edge of the Boundary Waters, or introducing the next generation to the wonders of the BWCA, our strength is in our members. It is in you. To learn more and find out how you can join this community today, please visit friends-bwca.org.
Hello, I'm Bear Paulson from North Star Canoes. This is titled Minnesota is Unique. Sven and Ole got stuck here and never left. We have more Scandinavians per capita than the countries clustered around the Baltic Sea. We are the land of Lutefisk and Lefse. Rocky and Bullwinkle added to our uncommon fame. Frostbite Falls is the icebox of the nation. I cheered when it was below zero for the Super Bowl in Minneapolis a while back. We needed that to cement our frigid reputation. Minnesota is also unique in having 3 major watersheds. From the BWCA, paddlers can go north to Hudson Bay, or east to the Atlantic, or with some portaging south down the Mississippi. North Star is unique too. We build canoes with an incredible blend of seaworthiness and efficiency. Seaworthiness means you'll be safe when the wind kicks up. Efficiency lets you get where you want to go. North Stars are easy to paddle on glassy days, and safe to paddle on rough ones. Rent a North Star at nearly all the BWCA outfitters, or purchase a new one from retailers nationwide.
Shannon McGrath got her start paddling when she was 12 years old. Growing up near White Bear Lake just north of St. Paul, camping wasn't a big part of her childhood. Her first taste of outdoor recreation in that type of form, like what the Boundary Waters offers, came just before her 13th birthday up near Camp Widgewagon, not far from Ely. The wood canvas canoes at the camp weighed more than she did, and they were somewhat intimidating. It didn't stop her, though. She kept at it. Eventually, she found her groove, and some of that came by getting others who might also have had a sense of reluctance to paddle, to just go for it.
As in my years with YMCA Camp Widgewagon, it's a camp based up in the border of the Boundary Waters where they do canoe and backpacking trips all over North America. And so that has allowed me access to not only the Boundary Waters, but up into Canada through the Quetico and the Crown Lands and rivers, and all the way up to a 2-month Arctic expedition. And while now I can't take 2 months off of whatever society life it is that we've created, but I can have these little slices of that taste that brings me back and reminds me of what I've experienced in that perspective. And so I feel like I do connect with my younger self too, of that really has shaped who I am, and I love that I can find people that will come up and experience that with me too.
By the time she was 16, Shannon had completed the Grand Portage from Lake Superior to the inland border lakes of the Boundary Waters. About 3 decades later, Shannon continues to be a prolific paddler. She makes annual trips to the Boundary Waters, including this fall, on an annual trip that she makes with some of her friends to the BWCA. The Paddle and Portage Podcast met up with Shannon and her crew at Artist Point in Grand Marais just before they headed up the Gunflint Trail to start their fall adventure to the Boundary Waters. We asked one of Shannon's friends what makes a paddle trip with Shannon so unique.
Hi, I'm Debbie Erlene. I was saying about Shannon, I was saying she's a really special person to be friends with, and that people often ask you how, you're going to the Boundary Waters, and especially on these trips where it's like all women, you just don't see that a lot. How do you know how to do that, or how can you be confident to do that? And you really need someone like Shannon who just knows the Boundary Waters inside and out. You can hire people to do this kind of stuff and to try and teach you and train you and then go out on your own, but when you're with someone that not only knows how to do all of it, but they want to show you and teach you how to do it yourself, like that is a part of it. And so it's not just I'm going to do it for you and you're coming on this trip, it's I'm going to teach you how to do this, and be out on your own. Shannon just knows how to do all this. She's cultivated this knowledge over time. And even I was talking about the maps and how to go and the different paths, she's been through so many of them. She will know without even looking what different portages you're going to be going through, how difficult they're going to be, what you're going to experience on the way. Some people crumble in chaos, and Shannon can thrive in it. She stays calm in any situation and can logically think her way out. She has a lot of confidence and she backs it up with knowledge, right? So I think just naturally she is the perfect leader for kind of anything like this. She definitely has the experience and knowledge to back it up, but just also just personally being able to stay calm in any situation, being out in the wilderness where anything could happen, she just takes it in stride. Shannon's a really important friend because she's just the best friend, the friend that is there for you when you're going through something tough, the friend that always wants to hear about everything that's going good in your life. She's always excited and you're in your corner and ready for whatever life brings. So you'll find from all of us that are good friends with Shannon that we've all been through different things, and being there for each other and growing together. And part of it, being on these trips, we can share a lot. Shannon also just brings the fun. She's one of the most glorious people to be around just because of her personality, her humor, her creativity. She's one of the most creative people you'll ever meet.
Despite her many accomplishments on the water, Shannon is a humble paddler. Her leadership skills and paddling experience are far beyond that of the average BWCA paddler, but she doesn't boast about it. As we talked with her while looking out over the unusually calm waters of Lake Superior on this particular fall afternoon, she continually referenced other people as a motivating factor for why she has this deep-found passion for paddling.
I find connection in different ways. One is connection to self, one is connection to the land, one is connection to your travel partners, and another is connection to whatever universe thing you believe in out there.
High power type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jessica Weens, and I'm Shannon's friend. Shannon is a calm, peaceful paddler. She loves to teach others to paddle. She taught me how to paddle. I had never been in a canoe the first time that I went to the Boundary Waters with her, and she just knew that maybe I'd have a decent enough attitude to have a good time, and she said, "I'll teach me everything I know," and I said yes. And so she taught me how to steer. She taught me how to do every possible stroke that I know, and it's just, she's always very easy breezy, calm in the canoe. Shannon is often the chef in camp. She has made, most recently, one of our favorite things is a beef ramen soup that she has made up with veggies in it. There was one time in particular when she made an entire pot of chicken wild rice soup on a rainy day and proceeded to spill the entire thing on the campfire. That was a really memorable dinner. We just ate brownies that night for dinner.
On a cold
It was cold and rainy, and it was rough. Yeah, it was tough. But we all did our best to not make a big deal out of it and just make it work.
And while Shannon's friends are quick to point out her leadership and paddling skills, they also acknowledge her great sense of humor. Their Boundary Waters trips are healing and relaxing, but they're also pretty damn fun, Jessica says.
In addition to the mechanics of ensuring we are safe and enjoying ourselves and comfortable in the Boundary Waters, she always brings a little fun. You never know what's packed in the bag, whether it's some sort of wig. I've watched her portage in a dress. I've watched her wear all kinds of ridiculous costumey things to just add a little fun, and you never know what's going to be in the portage pack that she has snuck in to just have a little laugh or raise spirits if needed at any point.
It wasn't long after we talked with Shannon and her crew near Lake Superior that they headed up the Gunflint Trail to start their canoe trip. They paddled from Gunflint Lake to the Rose Lake area over the course of a few days, following the big water along the border lakes. They recorded some audio for the podcast while they were out there. So, let's head to the woods.
Shannon McGrath here. An observation I had was I was wearing my smartwatch while paddling in my canoe, and notification came up saying activity was detected, and it assumed that I was on a rowing machine. And I thought, what a world we live in, that it's assumed that we're on some sort of machine rather than out in the real world actually paddling and rowing a canoe. I have a quote from Sigurd Olsen that I have gone back to over time repeatedly, and it really stands out, and I want to read it to you. It is, "Wilderness to the people of America is a spiritual necessity, an antidote to the high pressure of modern life, a means of regaining serenity and equilibrium." As I return to the woods year after year through different chapters of life, this still holds true, that no matter what I'm going through in life, that this is really a place to regain that serenity and equilibrium so I can be my best self going back to whatever chapter I'm in.
Shannon and her crew are hybrids. They can wax poetically, quoting Sig Olsen as we just heard, but they also know how to see the humor in, well, just about everything. Here's Shannon.
Something interesting about coming to the Boundary Waters with your friends is the toilet situation. There's latrines, which is just an open pit toilet out in the woods, and it's very transparent to see your buddy's poop. And then you just add yours on top of it, and then suddenly you have just this shit sandwich going on with all different colors and textures. But you can critique each other's shit too. And it's just a very fun thing, making a shit sandwich with your friends in the woods.
This trip, as it is on these fall adventures, was a closing of the summer for Shannon and her friends. It's the final time they'll paddle before winter. And the trip also marked another occasion, one of great significance. Though it was a surprise to her, Shannon's friends threw her a bachelorette party in the Boundary Waters.
This is Jessica. We've been reflecting around a campfire that's not lit on a very lazy afternoon about a lot of weird things that we've done on this trip. Shannon's got her pizza pants on. We've got a bachelorette party banner. There's a crown in our campsite. And we're just being kind of weird. And the reality is that we don't get to be weird in day-to-day lives. There are expectations of all of us being leaders at home, leaders at work, leaders with our family. And being silly is not on the table every day or whenever we want, but it is out here, and that feels good.
Shannon later told us that she planned the fall trip before her now husband Dave proposed. Their wedding was October 11th, just a few weeks after this fall trip to the Boundary Waters. One of the first things that brought Shannon and Dave together, she says, is a photo that Dave saw of her Portagina canoe. Shannon, who is 39, says that in addition to her passion for sharing the Boundary Waters with her friends, she also likes getting her kids into the woods and on the water. Dave and her bring their 4 children to Camp de Nord near Ely for paddling adventures, and they've done some overnight canoe trips in northern Minnesota as well.
And I'm excited for this next chapter of marriage and combining families and now having children to share this special place with.
After graduating from the University of Minnesota in Duluth a ways back, Shannon is now a consultant at a civil engineering firm. Her job is to take care of built infrastructure, and it's something that she loves to do. She also loves to get away from the modern constructs of civilization and do something more natural. A place like the Boundary Waters. It's a place that speaks to her core as a human. It's the same thing she felt when she was 12 years old, just learning to canoe in the Boundary Waters.
We're reflecting on how some people seek to escape from the everyday sensory overload by going to a sensory deprivation tank to remove all external things from their senses. But out here in the woods, it's kind of the opposite of that, where all of your senses are amplified. And you still remove all of the daily stressor, but out here it's like your senses are so amplified, but in a natural way. I've been coming up for 27 years, and I've gone through a lot of life changes over time. And I also find myself being someone that likes to try new things and find new places, but this is the one thing that has remained the same over all of those years. And so it's, as I go through different chapters of life, it still remains that piece of, I call it medicine, that I need to come back at least once a year to kind of reset and remember what is really important.
Huge thank you to that whole group for meeting up with Joe and I to share their stories. We learned about Shannon through friends of the podcast, and want to remind you that if you have a friend or know of someone that you want to nominate for the Everyday Paddler profile, send us an email. You can reach Joe at paddleandportage.com.
Yeah, if you'll recall, we first heard from Shannon with the Boreal Bliss yoga trip from an episode earlier in the year in the summer. And Shannon was on that trip, was really involved with the audio recording from that experience through Birchwood with Boreal Bliss Yoga that Brianna had reached out to do. So that's how we first heard of Shannon. And she just really stood out on that trip, like with the content that she shared and the way that she spoke about the Boundary Waters, canoeing in connection with other paddlers and so forth. So that is how we heard about Shannon. And please, if you know someone, again, who just like a person who goes to the Boundary Waters or has connection to the paddling world and this niche thing that we're all involved in some way or another, please reach out to us. That's what the whole platform here at Paddle and Portage is about, is to be able to share these stories. So we'd love to hear from you. Joe at paddleandportage.com is my email, or reach out to us on social media too. That definitely works as well.
If you want to see some pretty phenomenal photos of this bachelorette party unfolding in the wilderness, check out paddleandportage.com on Facebook, Instagram, or go to our website. And don't forget, we run off the support of you. And thank you.
Membership tab is at paddleandportage.com. Monthly, annual options for you to support the podcast and the work we do. It all goes into the same general pool to support the news, the journalism, and, of course, the Paddle and Portage Podcast. As we prepare to enter yet another changing of the seasons,
as the days darken and the night grows, we enter a season with frostbitten toes. And as Joe turns the auger into that ice, we peer at the sunset and say, this season is nice.
frickin' clusterfly still on the goddamn writer's cabin.
Oh my God, what's your language? Children listen to this podcast. For goodness sake, Freddie, come on.
I like to sing, I love to dance. I play the fool if I got the chance. All around the campfire light. All around the campfire light. I got this out of tune old guitar. Not trying to be no star. There's enough of them in a summer's night. Oh, there's enough of them.
Note is for Joe and Em. I just wanted to share that we all really enjoyed meeting you. We think you're wonderful, wonderful humans, and we love what you do. What a role that you have to not only share awareness of the special place, the Boundary Waters, to try to protect it in these uncertain times, but also to give voice to those that travel the waterways and inspire others, whether they haven't been before and may inspire them to try it out, or for those that are very familiar with the place, it helps them connect to it in times where they don't have access to it. And I think it's a really special thing that you do, and it was lovely to meet you.
Out in the night, the waves beat the shore. You can hear them pounding, you can hear them roar. Oh, roll me, rock me in my dreams. You can roll me, rock me in my dreams. So I like to sing, I love to dance. I play the fool if I got the chance. All around the campfire light. All around the campfire light. All round, all round, all round the campfire light.